Bonsoir!
Bonsoir!
Bienvenue!
Oui!
Bienvenue!
C'est un peu, c'est du bousset.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien?
Twitch, comment ça va?
Now in Dutch.
Oké.
Hallo,
Hey,
welkom!
hoe gaat het?
Hoe gaat het? Hoe is de avond? Okay,
And now
well, that's
what-
confusing enough, I think. Just watch all of Jasper clips. Okay, what's happening? Okay.
Weirdest
Anyway,
session ever. Oh yeah.
weirdest session ever.
We're already getting
into the
today.
main topic of the evening.
Yes.
Yeah. So welcome to Talking Void. Now, look at this, Michel. Yesterday I said I had a big head. You know, if I go and sit like this, let's compare it.
He has a really big head.
So that's why I'm sitting back, and now it's in the right proportions. So, yeah, well, welcome to Talking Void. Let the chaos ensue, and I'm not talking about an issue, or N, which is and in Dutch, and a shoe, like a shoe.
I always say ensue.
And
Then
sue.
you don't have
Let the chaos ensue. But who are we going to sue? I don't know. Anyway, so we are native English speakers here, which is why we are so fluent at this language, and why we can make jokes that are so funny that you don't comprehend what we're saying, right?
Sorry, I just DM Shanks. You're just going straight for it, throwing the punches left and right.
Yeah, well, he has some revenge in him, I think, because of me harassing him in chat for no reason at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he did shoot your character yesterday, so I thought
so,
that was.
it would be me that would be having the revenge then.
I think
Well,
you're owed some revenge.
I must say that my character was kind of an asshole.
Yeah, that's safe to say.
Which is unlike what I am, because I'm just such a friendly guy, right?
Yes. He paid me to say that. Get me out of here.
I enjoyed shooting him, so that's where we are at now.
Super chaotic intro. People that have never seen us ask the question,
what's happening?
and what am I doing here?
What am I doing here?
But wait.
What?
Wait. It gets better.
Now I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, I know.
I have to say something now, right? Or is this the chaos that you were talking about?
Yeah, it's get that.
Let me introduce you to this show. This is Talking Void, where we talk about stuff. And mainly Dungeons and Dragons type of things, but sometimes other role-playing games or interests of us, I don't know. We mostly split this show up into two parts, where we first discuss the Precipice of Dreams, which is our actual play series here on the Voidcast. And then the second part is the main topic of the show, which in this case is what was your weirdest session ever and why? Well, people, when you ask such a question, you have all kinds of weird happening.
Yeah.
Some were pretty shocking, in my I might say. So I didn't include those in my show, but I will be discussing that kind of cloud where strange things happen.
Welcome to the zone of things where normal things. No, never mind. I can't remember the quote.
Yeah, I was thinking, strange things happen when you're going around the twist. Do you remember that series? No. It's I think it's an Australian series with a light tower where all kinds of people are living, and some of them turn into mushrooms and stuff. It was always pretty weird.
Super weird. No, I had to think about the Johnny Bravo. Welcome to the zone where normal things don't happen very often.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Something like that.
Sits down with the void and pours its whiskey. Yeah, so those are the two things we will be discussing this evening. Let chat roll, that's okay. Takes a cigarette out of the void's mouth and smokes it. Oh, man.
Callback. That's a
callback.
callback.
Yeah, but before we dive into all that things, we have 4 shows on this channel. This is Talking Void, which happens on Tuesdays at 9 p.m. Central European Time. And then the Tuesday afterwards is Jasper's Laboratory, with some guy called Jasper that talks about Dungeons and Dragons and prepares sessions for Dungeons and Dragons. Really boring, actually.
It's not. You want me
Oh,
to
okay.
say it?
Yeah.
You want me to say it's not? Yeah. No, it's not. It's not boring, people.
Yeah. It's not. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I think next week we'll be doing that show, but the week afterwards, I'm on a holiday, actually.
And me too. Are we
So,
going to the same place?
Well, I might see you in my tent then. Who knows? Right?
I'm also going camping.
Where are you going to camp?
France.
Oh, no. I'm staying in the Netherlands. Spicy. Yeah, spicy. So we'll have to see I think we'll be on a break.
I think the month of August will probably be a short Voidcast hiatus.
Yeah, although I think next week we'll be doing the Precipice, right?
Yeah, next week's
Yeah.
Precipice.
So next Monday we'll be doing the Precipice of Dreams again, which is our actual play series. That's at 8:30 Central European Time on the Voidcast, of course. We'll be doing, yes, been interesting so far, and we're kind of at the start of a new story arc. So those who want to jump in could jump in here,
They
and
could jump
later
in,
watch older episodes, for example. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. And then on the other Monday, there's parallel projections, which lately has been kind of different.
Weird? No.
Yeah.
Parallel projections on every other Monday, opposite to our live D&D campaign. I used to sit around and play video games, but I much rather play actual tabletop RPGs. So we started doing that. We did 2 special one-shots now at this point. We did a Dust City Outlaws one-shot, and yesterday we played Call of Cthulhu.
Which was so boring. Oh no, it was amazing. If you talk about weirdest sessions, this was one, right?
Yeah, it will rank up there, but we'll go into that.
Yeah, we'll go into that later. So, and then the other thing is that we have all kinds of socials, ! Socials and chat. You'll see them all. Please join us on our Discord. Give us that follow on both Twitch and YouTube. If you're a real big fan, throw those subscriptions our way, but you have to be a real big fan. But we appreciate that. And yeah, I'm hoping you'll be enjoying this evening's Talking Void.
Talking of Void.
Yeah.
So thanks, Fellerings and Gamers Move TV for the compliments.
Yeah.
That's awesome that you guys found us.
Yeah. Yeah, those were both in chat yesterday and had a lot of fun. And they gave us a lot of support on our show.
Yeah.
It was also
great.
our longest show ever.
Yeah, it was.
Till 1 o'clock in the evening in Central European time, at least. So I'm still tired.
I basically fell asleep behind the PC, went to work, and then now I'm here.
Oh. That's a thing. Anyway, let's go into the intro. Yeah, the intro is running now. And we're back.
Nous sommes retournés. No, I don't even
En we zijn terug. Let's do the German one. Und wir sind zurück.
Zurück. I kind of dialed in work today. Thank goodness for remote working. Wow.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? All that travel time is extra sleepy time. Yeah. Anyway, and Gamers Move TV says, I came to yesterday's show to torture Vix, but that was already happening, so I was satisfied.
It got pretty, Vix got the brunt of Ortmund's
Character,
yeah.
Okay, but let's dive into tonight's show.
Yes.
Which I think is always being said by other shows, but who cares, right? Yeah. They don't have a, thingy on it. Okay, Final Farewell. That was the title of the last episode of the Precipice of Dreams. We'll go into that first.
Yeah.
And we'll have a special thing after this. We'll not be jumping in the main topic.
They'll see.
Yeah, okay.
Spoilers.
Yeah, okay, no spoilers. But if you have any questions about last week's Precipice of Dreams episode, feel free to ask them in the chat, and we'll see if we can answer those questions. So, Final Farewell is the title of the last episode.
Yeah.
Came online today. So, for those who haven't seen it.
It was supposed to be, it was already online on Thursday, like it usually is, but some jerk forgot to put it on public instead of hidden, so that happened.
Yeah. So, you can watch it. That's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
So, Final Farewell. I think this is a title that talks about Thomas the most, I think.
Yes.
Or says
It's a
something about Thomas.
pretty weighty title.
Yeah. I had, what did I say? The Echo and the Lion. Anyway, there are all kinds of titles that you can make up to describe an episode. But
this one, it was our final farewell to the character of Thomas, played by Eric, who
had died.
Who had died some 3 or 4 episodes earlier, but came back in a very awesome and epic way.
Yeah.
And
the funny thing is that they said that we kind of had a 5-minute thing where we were sad about it, and then we continued on.
That was the meme, yes.
Yes, that was the meme.
But I didn't feel that. I thought everyone was pretty much doing.
I've been mad for 8 weeks. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
And finally, we got some resolve in this regard.
But I think people thought that we didn't care anymore at one point, but that was not true.
No, we cared a lot. Thomas, our dear friend, died. Well, at first not that heroically, but in the end he made a comeback that was pretty heroic.
Yeah. And
he defeated the big bad of the end of the chapter, so to say. Mostly, yeah. Okay, you did a meme. That's right. But with all those,
only because Thomas had done ridiculous amounts of damage to it. But I think that why people thought that we didn't care anymore had mostly to do with your reaction, with Bowen's reaction. Yeah. Because Bowen wasn't there. He just heard the news secondhand, and while we were telling him the news that Thomas died, there was a Thomas standing right there. So I can imagine that it was just super...
Yeah, that was confusing. And the other thing was that you were telling me that there was this other aspect of me.
That,
the Bowen Darkheart version that I don't know anything about as Bowen Goodheart.
Oh, by the way, you have a second personality, and we did an entire adventure with him.
Yeah, right? And then I had to think about how will Bowen react to this, because this is kind of a lot to take in. And as you might have noticed, he didn't react.
No, he was...
I think that the only correct way to react was not to react for Bowen, because he can't... Because he kind of believes everything that everyone is telling him, always. Because
why would people lie?
Indeed. So they must be telling the truth, but there's this aspect to this truth that he can't internalize or something.
Yeah. Can I talk a bit about something that I want to do with Altleaf? In regards to Bowen.
Okay.
I really want to figure out as Altleaf how if I can trigger the change between them. See if I can either help bring you together, or at least be able to control. Not that I want to control. No, maybe I do want to control it. That would be
I
funny.
thought that controlling stuff was
my past.
exactly not your thing, right?
But no.
Oh, Thomas, I'm so sorry for controlling you accidentally and stuff. You know? Yeah. Now
But
you
yeah,
want to
no.
control
But
Bowen.
no. I wanna help him bring the pieces back together. We
Yeah.
keep hearing that he is broken, and we've met two.
Yeah, that's new
Sides
for
of
me as
Bowen.
well. By the way,
Well,
I don't
think
feel broken.
I think Orda also already said it
Yeah,
10 episodes ago.
yeah.
So,
So yeah.
but what happens if we repair you? Then you lose your. What happens to you because you're playing
Why
two
are we
distinct
talking about
classes?
losing? I think I gain stuff.
Yeah,
I hope
you
I
get
gain
everything.
stuff.
You get everything of all the
I
classes.
can finally do everything.
Yes.
You know.
Then Bowen will truly have unlocked the power of everything.
A kind of third edition Gestalt character.
And then Bowen had to deal with people preferring Darkheart as Ashley Gibson. Yeah, I think that Darkheart is actually a lot more likable than the regular Bowen. And it's not that Bowen isn't, the regular Bowen isn't likable. It's a very nice and kind soul. But he didn't click with the group as well as
But
Bowen
he doesn't
Darkheart
think
did.
that. But you know.
Joh.
Well, talking about things happening in the group, like zealots and stuff.
Yeah. Let's talk about
The first part was taking leave from the transition tree, so to
So yeah,
say.
the first part was our farewell to Thomas.
Farewell to Thomas and taking the druid on a walk towards Woutford, where we had to tell Gunther about Thomas's death. But not only did we have to tell Gunther about Thomas's death, there was this guy sitting in his room, kind of a pious bastard, if I can.
Oh wow! I
This
thought
is
you guys.
Jasper.
Yeah, I thought you
This is
guys would
Jasper.
be best buddies.
This is Jasper.
Yeah, as Misha, I don't think he's a. He was a bastard necessarily. You think so?
Well, he takes the fate with a grain of salt, I think.
As Jasper,
No,
as Bowen. So now you're talking as Bowen again.
yeah, as both of them, I guess. I think
This role playing is so confusing.
Bowen was really shocked
am I?
how he handled the truth and stuff, like inflating people beyond death. That's not done, you know, like making them bigger than they were in real life. You have to be honest about their.
Well, me as Michel actually, or an Oddleaf as well. I actually understood that side because, and I really like what Eric is doing there. So Eric.
Oh wait, Jasper likes that.
Yeah,
part
so
as well.
Eric's new character, for those that haven't seen it, seems to be some sort of. I don't think he is a paladin, but he seems like a paladin of sorts for the Holy Adon, the god of this world. And Bowen is a priest of Adon, and the way they interpret their faith is completely different. Because, as far as we've seen now, Eric's new character seems to embrace it more from the aspect of a warrior, and in that sense, it makes sense that you sort of always like he was the greatest warrior, but I never thought he meant like he is the single greatest warrior. Just he is amongst the greatest warriors. That's how I interpreted it when he said that. But Bowen immediately latched on with, he was not the greatest warrior. There have been heroes in history.
Yeah. Oh, I like that part, and it really reminded me of Amfortas and Strife.
Yeah,
in
that's
a
also
sense,
funny,
you know. So Amfortas and Strife, I was on Fortas, he was Strife in another campaign, and
we were everyone thought that our characters would be best friends, but we weren't, because we were too much alike, and in the aspects that really mattered, we were completely opposite.
yeah, that was so funny in a way. Yeah, I think that was fun. Made for a good roleplay.
I think that Zoran Royalty makes an excellent point, because this is one of the things that we really like to do with Talking Void, and what we really wanted to do, because after playing a session, we just really love talking about it, and we love talking about our session, but and D&D and tabletop RPGs in general,
Yeah.
and that's why you wanted to start this show, so
Yeah.
we can have that feeling. So I'm glad that you caught
But
on
then
to
we
it.
have to tell what he actually said. So he wrote, "Get, I'm not the only one who kind of slips into character when talking to my friends about our games."
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the best example was me telling my wife like 15 years ago or about the things that I had done as the character Strive. Yeah, we went into this dungeon and there we fought a dragon, and then she was like, "No, you were sitting at a table rolling dice. You didn't do anything."
Okay, she. Sorry. Yeah. Um, yeah.
Yes.
So, and the other thing, the aspect that I wanted to come back to is when Bowen says something about um, the fate of this new character, Quintus. His name is Quintus. Then Jasper would rather prefer that you get that sense of closure that Quintus gave Thomas.
Yeah.
But Bowen surely doesn't.
No.
And you know, when you go to a funeral and everybody is like bashing the person that's lying in his chest, in his coffin, then that's not so kind,
No.
so to say. It's better to say, well, he did a lot of great things in life.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's exactly what Quintus did.
yeah, yeah.
He was
So
making feel
that's the
everyone
difference.
better. Was that?
Yes, that should be a merchandise mark, actually. Was that a merchandise mark, says Fellow Rings. No appreciation for the game. There was no appreciation for the game?
They were talking about my wife saying
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't do anything. Well, she is. To be fair, she has an appreciation for the game now.
Yeah.
So we actually played with our kids, and she understands it more now. Even more merchandise. Quintus is a top tier name.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
a cool name. Yeah.
It's a cool name, it's a cool character. I can't wait to see more of the character.
And he has a lion as a mount.
Yeah,
So that's cool
he
as
has a
well.
white lion as a mount, which
Yeah.
is amazing. And
Yeah.
they recycle their mounts, we discovered, as he's
Yeah.
also wearing a cloak made of white lion pelt, which is probably his former mount.
Yeah, yeah. He wears his former mount as a cloak. That's so. Wow, I don't know about that, but apparently it's okay. You know, it's quite normal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's what they do apparently.
yeah. Which reminds me of the right paladin mount is
A unicorn.
no. It's like
Pegasus.
every paladin should
A white
have a
horse.
specific
Oh.
mount, you know, and never just a horse, or it might be a horse, but I have this Dragar paladin in one of my parties, and he's now getting, what is the name of the creature? Kind of spider kind of creature that
Okay,
can
cool.
walk on walls in the caverns and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
that's
cool mount.
Yeah. So, and I really love lions as paladin mounts. I gave one to one of my paladins, and 2 sessions later that mount died.
Does he wear it as a cloak now?
No, it kind of fell apart. They were teleporting, and then the lion kind of crashed into a wall during the teleport. It was squished.
No actual animals were hurt during the recording of this show.
No, but it was pretty sad. I don't know why I did that, because it was such a cool mount.
Yeah, we need to get our which of the exclamation mark socials is that merch available at? Well, nowhere yet, but we might do stuff because
Yeah, if you are willing to get one, we might be willing to order one for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to our Discord. Ask questions. You're already in our Discord.
We'll be sure to look out for our opportunities to provide some merchandise. Yeah.
Hoodies, baseball caps, t-shirts,
Cars.
sweaters, cars,
Yeah.
bicycles, because we're Dutch, wooden
Oh,
shoes.
Wooden shoes. Oh man, now we're going into a deep dive. Yeah. Yes. Says
Windmills, and when it spins, you can see the Voidcast Void logo.
Ashley. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool actually.
I know, man.
Yeah. So have we discussed this episode? Let's talk about Gunther's reaction. I think that's the final thing we have to say about this.
Yeah, he was very sad.
Yeah, but I thought it was so funny that Thomas had died. Then we went to Gunther, who was his mentor, and this old knight, barely alive because of his weak physique. And then it was Eric again talking as Gunther, and then he was talking again as Quintus.
Yeah.
He had 3 characters to play in this session.
I know. Respect to Eric. I think the funny thing was that in the beginning he played Thomas and Gunther, and this was a great way to just focus on one character, right? Thomas had died. Gunther can go on and lead his life. So we asked him, Gunther, what are you going to do? And Gunther said, I'm going to travel with you, of course. So we will still have him around.
Yeah.
Void clogs, never knew there was a perfect gift until now. Well, yeah. Ash, I will keep that in mind.
I see a red clock and I want to paint it black. I don't know. Do you have a mouthful of water there?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so that's enough about the Precipice of Dreams,
yes.
I think, for this.
It
was a complicated episode.
It was a complicated episode because there was a lot of emotional stuff that needed to be discussed, but there was also a lot of lore that needed to be discussed, and there was also the new character introductions for the new character of Eric. Yeah. So it was a lot going on, and it was difficult to balance everything, but I think it was a very nice episode, but I can't wait what will happen next week.
Yeah.
Next Monday.
And the other thing I still want to say about is that it was a complicated episode, but I think it's close to how we would have played in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something and that's a difficult thing because sometimes you have to consider the entertainment value of an episode, but then at the same time we want to show everyone how we really play our game instead of forcing a narrative to just progress in the story.
Yeah. And
I got this comment from a friend who watched the show, and he said there was a lot of exposition in a way, or a lot of new lore drop, not exposition. And sometimes this is nearly too much to watch, and I can imagine that, especially when you don't see every episode.
No, yeah.
But I think it is necessary to make conversations in the future go more fluently. I don't know, smoothly, I think.
Yeah.
And so that we can actually progress in the story at a faster pace, with more knowledge behind the things we're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vic says, I have to step away. Okay, well, come back.
I had to step away. She got back.
So catching up on chat. Oh, okay, sorry. I misread that.
Also,
void clogs,
plus for the void clogs.
Yeah. And Zoran Royalty says, RPing a conversation between multiple characters you control is either incredibly enjoyable or the most awkward thing to do, in my experience as a DM. Yeah, he did great. Yeah.
Eric did great, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. But it's always difficult, especially when you give these creatures voices and you have to switch between them.
Also, we're not trained voice actors.
No. And the other thing is, I can finally use my normal voice again.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That's pretty hard.
Yeah, and it's pretty hard for us to listen to as well. So I'm glad.
It is? I have to react a certain way. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. Let's go into the next part. Shenanigans.
Special.
Let's talk Dusk and Call.
That's a cool title for an episode.
Dusk and Call.
I don't know why.
I don't know. Yeah. Maybe Call and Dusk.
Cool.
The Call of the Dusk or the Call. No, I don't know. Yeah, we did 2 one-shots, and since you're here now, I thought let's discuss them very shortly, because we
Yeah.
can't make the real deep dive, but Ashley is in chat, Shanks is in chat, Vix is in chat, so it would be nice to wrap it up in
Eric is
some way.
noticeably absent.
Yes, the bastard.
That didn't come out right, but
And he isn't the bastard, so we'll take it back. Anyway, we're doing this.
yeah,
in
I
this
know.
episode.
Whoop, whoop,
Yeah,
whoop, 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 whoop. So to preface this topic, we did play the Call of Cthulhu episode yesterday, and it got really late, and we both are a bit sleep deprived, which is causing the up and down
yeah,
energy level.
just a bit more than normal.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, yeah, we did 2 one-shots. The first one was Dusk City Outlaws,
Yes.
which was great.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Because we get to experience a character that we can only have to use for a one-shot, and might die or not. But the funny thing is, you always get attached, though, right?
Hey, oh, I really
Yeah.
like. If we're ever going to play it again, I always like making new characters, but I would be like, it would be a hard choice to decide whether, if we ever play Dust City Outlaws again, whether I make a new character or stick with the one that I already had, because I had so much fun playing that one.
Yeah, I think in that one I would certainly play that one again. But the thing is, in Call of Cthulhu, it's kind of hard to continue playing the character that I played in
Yeah,
that session.
well, I mean,
Yeah.
Shanks pulled it off 2 one-shots now, so his character might show up in a third one.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he played it in another one-shot and asked if he could take that character to my one-shot, which I was okay
Are
with.
you skipping over the bullets in my face now?
Well, you're dead.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I said that Shanks, so it is difficult to keep your character alive, but
Yeah.
Shanks now did it twice.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when I was going,
Don't make
so
me
Dust
shoot.
City, don't make me shoot another psychiatrist.
Yeah, that was one of the best quotes
Yeah.
from yesterday's game. But let's discuss this Dust City Outlaws first.
Yeah. So now let's not really discuss it into detail, but
No.
let's discuss how that works for a one shot, you know, and how much fun it is to make this deep dive for a single session,
Yeah.
exploit this new character with all these new traits, come up with a voice possibly or your own voice, and really go for it.
Yeah. So for me, just to talk about how these specials came about, I already discussed it briefly. But I usually play games, video games on a Monday, but I much rather play tabletop RPGs. And I have so many books of different systems at my place, and I've read through most of them, but I haven't played even half of them. And that's where that thought started. Like, I want to play these games. And you had the same feeling, and then I think I was just playing. I was live streaming, and Vix and Shanks were in the stream in chat, and they said like, "Can we join?" And that's how it started.
Yeah.
And we've done 2 now, and it was great. And the Dust City
There's a
Outlaws.
third one on the horizon even.
Yes,
So yeah.
that will be after the summer break, so we'll reveal that in due time.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the Dust City Outlaws, a good friend of ours, Ashley, who's now in chat, wanted to DM that.
Yeah.
He had done so before, and it's a system that lends itself really well for a one-shot.
Yeah.
And he had an idea for a short story, and he did absolutely amazing. And the only thing that we had to do, it's super rules light, so character creation and everything is very
Yeah.
easy to do.
The funny thing is that I thought Call of Cthulhu is even more rules light.
Well, I think there's similarity between the 2 systems.
Yeah,
But I
you
think
have
that-
all these extra rules written in
Yeah.
your background in Dust City Outlaws, which you have to consider. Well,
Yeah.
in Call of Cthulhu, you really have to look at the one sheet and
That's true.
what fits. You know?
But there's a lot of in Call of Cthulhu goes more in depth at a certain point where
Yeah,
there's more
yeah.
interactions between rules where Dust City Outlaws just stay very
yeah.
I don't know, what you see is what you have, and it all
Yeah.
fits on like a A3 or A5
Yeah,
piece of paper.
and Dust City Outlaws really has rules for if you muck things up, then your what was it again? The threat level or the
Yeah, the threat
the
increases.
heat
Yeah,
increases,
Yeah.
and that goes with set amounts.
Yeah.
So you really know it really is a balanced system, so to say. Well, Call of Cthulhu can go. you, well,
Yeah, I didn't know half the rules for Call of Cthulhu. Just being honest here.
yeah, but you
But
did great. You did
I
great.
think they're not. I mean, the rules are secondary to having fun and just telling
Yeah.
a story and reacting to each other. And as long as you have some sort of system to make decisions for you
Yeah.
or help just create these random events, then
Yeah.
it works out great.
I think that Ashley is saying Duck City is more of a board game, but based around RP. I had this weekend with friends where we played Brimstone. Have you played Brimstone?
No.
No, and it really is. Well, it's not a role playing game. It's kind of you walk into a cavern, and if you have got light, then it's okay. But if you don't have light, the monsters come and stuff. But we can't play those games anymore without doing a lot of role playing. Yeah.
Which reminds me of another game, which is Werewolves, which we played a lot.
And always in character.
Always in character, and it would last entire evenings, and we'd really dig into it. And the one we would actually tell stories. The one that is the leader of the game, as it were, would actually build a story around it, and those were always great. And actually, I was thinking about it. We should do that as a one shot and just try and get as many people on camera as we can, like just have 12 people and play werewolves.
That would be funny
for a one shot.
Yeah. Now let's get 12 people together. Oh well, with all our streaming friends we can because they all have great equipment. So yeah, that's true. Yeah. So then Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah,
That's the one you were the GM of.
Yes,
and
keeper of arcane lore.
The keeper of arcane lore. Yeah, and the Silver Judge. It's for Dust City Outlaws, or is that just
Silver Judge was the
what we call Ashley?
No, yeah, but I started calling Ashley that because it's the term for.
Okay, then that's okay. I had a lot of fun because in this one I really thought I don't have to survive this thing. I just want to make it as dark as possible, as awkward as possible at times, which I think I succeeded at.
You succeeded, yes, very much.
And really get into that groove of fear. And the funny thing is, we had a lot of laughs, but when it came to those moments where there should be fear, there was fear.
I hope so.
Yeah. I think there was. It was really scary at
that's
times.
good. You know, I mean, as a GM, it's hard to. I mean, it's hard to know when it gets scary or not for your players, or when the atmosphere is there or not. I think when you're sitting around a table, then it's a bit easier to see when you're actually physically in the same room, but through the cameras and stuff, it's often difficult. I know that Fix and Shanks, it was like in the afternoon there. That also changes, right? If you're playing it in the dark, in the evening, you know, or it's just daylight and there's kids running around and everything, so you never know how it might affect the atmosphere. And then you guys were just a bunch of cats left loose in a maze, and
that's how you called it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that you have to get into the mindset as a player as well. You shouldn't be, when you start playing Call of Cthulhu, you should know that you're going to play a horror game and set your mind to that.
Yes.
If you play Dust City Outlaws, shenanigans will ensue. But if you play Call of Cthulhu, there's some serious stuff going to happen.
Yes.
And you really have to think of how you're going to handle that, even if it's bizarre how you react.
Yeah, we have seen yesterday that also in Call of Cthulhu games, there can be plenty of shenanigans.
Yeah, but they are in-game shenanigans.
Yeah,
And that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
They don't, well, some of them went to the meta, kind of, but most of them were really in-game absurdism.
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Yeah,
I don't know.
it is
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, it is now. Right?
Yeah,
Quite absurd.
No, that's absolutely
And
true.
realistic at the same time. And that's these enhanced characters that if you read a Lovecraftian story, all these things are made bigger, in a sense. The fear, they're really saying, I was so afraid.
Yeah. So the story was based on my favorite short story by H.P. Lovecraft, which is The Music of Eric Zahn.
Yeah.
And
Don't spoil it, right? Be careful.
No, but that story really dives into you're not supposed to know the evil. At one point the Lovecraft universe, when it got built up by other writers in the game, you got this whole Cthulhu mythos with the gods and the hierarchies, and I don't know. But I always really like the unknowable things that happen.
Yeah.
You're not meant to understand it, and as soon as you give it some sort of physical form, then you can give it a place, and so that's what that's what I went for, and I wanted to combine it with one of my favorite classical music pieces, which is the Danse Macabre.
Yeah.
Which is it's a piano concerto originally, I think, but it's most well known for the.
Yeah.
It's actually a violin. And Eric
How
Zahn
did you
plays
come up,
cello.
One question I have, there was when we went into the dimension. Sorry, I am totally interrupting you, but I got triggered by your
go.
Danse Macabre. You said there was the painting called the Totentanz.
Yeah, that's the painting. That's the Danse Macabre. It's the Totentanz.
Yeah.
That's what I used in the intro cinematic. You can see like a painting being scrolled with all these noblemen and. Cool. It's German,
cool.
Like a German painting.
And what was up with the black brick?
The black brick?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, you don't know.
Okay,
I'm going to keep that a secret.
Okay.
But I think that the skull kind of filled that purpose as well.
Yeah.
But it was a different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they didn't know what they have. That Lord and Lady didn't know about it. They thought it was some sort of art thing. But no, yeah. So there were a lot of references to music throughout the entire
I really like
thing.
that. Yeah.
And
Zoran Royalty says, my first TTRPG experience was a Call of Cthulhu game, and it's definitely more serious, but also not exempt from shenanigans. No, we've experienced that now. By the way, Ashley says it was such a great story, Michel, so there's another compliment.
Thank you.
And Ashley also says, absurd is the word for the game we had. It is. One of our players died punching a flying eel and shouting, Leroy Jenkins. It's Zoran Royalty again. Are we getting into the weirdest session stuff now?
I just need to say one thing, and I just told you before we went live on stream, but I don't know. Ash is here. I don't know if Vix and Shanks are currently behind their PC. If they are, they should listen to this, because you guys... Oh, no, I can't spoil the Call of Cthulhu thing. Can I talk about the end?
Well, I've already said that I died.
Anyway, you guys never solved the mystery.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you said that.
Yeah. Where's Camille? Where's Camille? You just left. All of you.
No rewards or whatever, you know.
Which was a perfectly reasonable response to the events that happened. Yeah. But I thought it was so funny that nobody even after the session, after we concluded the session and we were still talking a bit about it, nobody asked, where was she actually? Well, she was... I'm not going to spoil. Yeah, she was in the room. Behind the door.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Let's go and dive into our main topic of the evening, which is what was your weirdest session ever and why? Well, first thing I have to say about this is when I read through the answers that we had, there were less than normal, but I can imagine it's a more difficult question to answer, but still there were around 50, so that's okay.
Very good.
I was reading through them, and there were a lot of them that made me laugh, but there were a lot of them that made me really sad as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't read
Like,
any of these answers, so I'm
Yeah.
going to let you surprise me.
Yeah. So I've got one answer in here that kind of, in the most light sense possible, and at a level that I can still laugh about it, gives a glimpse of what kind of dark things were also being said. Like, because weird is also sessions that you will never want to repeat instead of things going, just being really funny.
Yeah.
And I hadn't considered that when I asked the question.
Well, I think that's funny that you should mention that, or actually great that you mention it, and probably for good reason. Because the first thing that we need to establish normally is what is the definition of weird in this sense.
Yeah.
Because for some people, weird might just be like, it was so awesomely crazy, like this happened and that happened,
Yeah.
and we never expected this, and blah, 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 and that can be super weird. But it can also be weird in the sense that the people playing the game, something occurs and it gets really awkward around the table, for example. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that you...
Yeah.
So I really want to know what.
Yeah. Okay. Now chat is going too fast again. Oh yeah, there was someone we were supposed to fight. Vic says, "Oh right, we had a mission goal." I think I felt like there were bigger things to deal with. I had dead bodies to search. Shank says, "Okay, I've returned and I have been thinking. Calling COC the weirdest session ever actually just makes me want to break that record on our next crossover." Michel just pointed that we didn't find that girl. Oh, whoops. Yeah. Well, I'm DMing. I can do weird, says Ashley. I know. I considered looking for her, but and that's
Yeah. So you decided you wanted. So she was actually behind the door in the room, and she would
describe the door.
She was also an artiste. She would have made a. She would also have made a great viol player instead of Irene doing the duties. And also, you could have probably maybe. Like, one of the themes was who's going to sit there holding the darkness at bay.
Yeah.
Now nobody. So maybe the next morning the entire world is being swallowed up by this darkness. We don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Next time.
Yeah. There
If
was
there ever is
a
a
West
next
Side
time.
Story sent it there. Reference. Could be. Who knows? Anyway. But we were talking about serious stuff.
It's up to the smugglers now, indeed.
Yeah. So, yeah, weird. I always like to post my questions without giving any context, so that if do you mean out of game, in game, or in character or something, then I can just say yes.
Yes.
And then I always wanted to do a yes answer, and I can do that a lot with how I propose my questions. But let's dive into the answers now, and let's see what people came up with. And I immediately have to say that the first one is a weird one, because I didn't understand anything that was being said.
Who expected that?
Yeah, you're right. But I had contact with the one with the person who gave the answer, and I think that was a he, but now I'm not sure anymore. They said that when they were writing this answer, has been done really quickly, which makes it confusing. But at the same time, the game that it's from is pretty confusing as well, and all kinds of weird stuff happened there anyway. So we should take it at face value what's being said.
Okay, let's dive into it.
Yeah, but now you're curious, right?
I'm super curious. That was your plan, right?
Yeah, that was my plan. Alonso says, paranoia back in high school began and ended with the characters not touching the ground once. Though one hit a lamp post at high velocity. They kept flying back and forth, once even surfing a clone tube launched out of a cannon to replace the lamp post guy. The session ended with them still flying through the air and began with him flying through the air from an explosion of their own creation the previous session. The mission: take this glass of water across the street.
This sounds like an epically weird.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. This is.
So I was confused when I read.
No, I think this is exactly the answer you want. This is
exactly
a
the
perfect answer.
Yeah, this is a perfect answer. It is the answer itself is weird.
Yeah, and this is even different from what I said, that there's like, yeah, we had this crazy, awesome, weird episode. No, this is just plain weird. Like when people like, what's going on?
Yeah, so I really had to laugh about this one, and I think I've heard about paranoia
Yeah,
once.
me too.
And they said that I should really try it out once. So, who knows?
Hey, Ash, maybe we can still change the was the DM Salvador Dali says Ash. Could very well
Was
be.
the DM Salvador Dali, yeah. So, can you imagine spending a session in the air without any because I don't know what happened
but
here,
it is properly
and it was all
weird.
about the glass of water and not touching the street and stuff.
Hitting a lamppost and replacing a lamppost. It's an amazing story.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So it kind of
And it
reminds
actually
me.
makes me really interested in what the system of paranoia is all about.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
how it
me as
works
well.
and how you
Yeah.
if it actively promotes those sorts of games, or if they really just took it to a whole other level.
Yeah. So the funny thing is that last weekend my son made a kind of game on paper. It was a kind of sheet of paper, and then there was this flag on one side, and there was a flag on the other side. And what you had to do, you had to draw something on your side that would influence, catch the flag on the other side, unless it got countered. So
Okay.
he drew a person with a rifle, and then I think the other person drew mist, and then he made a bomb, but then the other one set the flag on a train rail so that it would ride around and not get hit and stuff. And it's all kind of imagination. So
That's super cool.
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
super
like
cool.
a super fun game
Yeah.
to play, actually.
And so he went into with this friend of mine. They went in like 20 rounds, and things kept being adding mist, flying stuff, and everything. And then finally, the other person that he did this with, who was a grown up, said, "Well, I'm placing 10 additional flags, so you don't know which one you have to hit." And then my son said, "Then I've won, because you set the first flag on a rail, so that one is moving, so I know exactly which flag to hit." And I thought that was so great.
Yeah.
Because
and now I want to play the game. Can we play the game now?
Sure. Goodbye. Yeah. So, and this reminded me kind of that.
Yeah, I can
when I
imagine.
read this and see lampposts and stuff and things happening and staying in the air, maybe it's kind of that. I don't know, but my 10-year-old son came up with that, and I thought it was great.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
10 out of 10 would definitely play it.
Yeah. Piece of paper, a pencil. That's all you need. Yeah, brilliant. So that's the first answer to hit it off.
Yeah, great. A great start.
Yeah, right. So then we go into a couple of fast ones, which I almost always do. David says, "I just ended the session by having the party try to lose at Uno against the Bronze Dragon. It was magnificent." So
yeah, I know the game Uno. I played it with my kids.
Reverse cards and stuff. And I have never played it, but I've heard so much about it that I almost feel that I know how to play it. But
I think it's similar to what we do in Holland. There's this game called Pesten, or pestering someone else, or bothering someone else. It's a card game you can play with a regular deck of cards, and it's sort of based around that system.
Yeah. So I like the answer because I always like those answers that implicitly tell you how much fun they had.
Yeah.
Without actually saying it. Although it was magnificent, is kind of an explanation.
Yeah, no, but the first sentence already, like, there's people that would never do that sort of stuff in their D&D game, for example.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this dragon encounter, you
Yeah.
guys probably think we're going to, oh, you're all level 10 or whatever, you're going
Yeah.
to fight this bronze dragon. No, we're going to play a game of Uno. And
But
you
it's
guys
kind of
have to make sure that you lose.
Right, yeah. It's
great.
kind of the dance-off in
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy, you know.
Yeah, yeah,
where, what are you doing?
Yeah, this
Distracting
dance-
you.
Dance of Pro.
I like it. Oh, Zoran Royalty. We're getting to you then, very soon. So this was the first one. Then we have Chain. Either the Halfling Centipede or the 2-hour discussion of HR policies for a utopia we were trying to build out of a slum. You know,
Halfling centipede, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah.
I understand how those things sometimes come about.
like the human centipede and the Cent iPad from South Park.
So people make a joke about it.
Yeah,
Might have seen something.
yeah. And again, what I like about this is not the story, because there's a little story, but the implicit joy
Yeah,
about from this this
HR.
answer.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to reread that last part. Human resources for
Yeah. So how are
Management.
you going to do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Utopia out of slums. It's lofty goals.
Yeah. But it can be so serious. I think it's a weird. I imagine this as being a weird session because it's so. You probably are so into it
Yeah,
and so serious about
this
accomplishing this goal. But when you step back and you're kind of your wife, for example,
Yeah,
you
it's
say,
like
man,
you-
you sat around the table.
you sat around the table and talked about human resource management for 3 hours. Like, if that's your actual job, you probably don't talk about it in so much depth as you guys just did.
Yeah.
So I can totally imagine those things coming up, and at the moment you're there and you're just really into it. Yeah, but if we do this, then you might have to do that, and we might disappoint those people. And 3 hours later, you're like, what have we done?
Actually, who has the money to make a utopian thing out of a slum? You know?
Yeah, that's after 3 hours. It's like, does anyone have a credit card with which we can actually build this slum? No? Okay, well, guess all plans are off then.
Let's fight the dragon. Yeah. Ashley says, hey, fantasy civil service is always awesome. Fellow
Yeah.
Rings, what games are these examples?
We don't
Who
know.
knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Can we? I imagine that the first one with the bronze dragon might be a Dungeons and Dragons game, or
And a
maybe
halfling, there's a
Pathfinder.
halfling in the other one.
I had a halfling centipede, yeah. So,
So probably a Dungeons and Dragons game, and it was from a Dungeons and Dragons forum. So
probably Dungeons and Dragons.
probably
then.
Dungeons and Dragons. So Zoran Royalty, here we go, or Rebecca, I guess. My fiance killed a giant slug with a can of fantasy Pringles. So when I started reading this, I thought, okay. But then, of course, fantasy Pringles gets to you.
Yeah, that's the
Because I have no idea what fantasy Pringles are.
no a can
I can imagine.
a can of fantasy Pringles.
Yeah. So are these Pringles kind of fantastic in their own right? Or are they fantasy Pringles because they are part of a fantasy setting?
Are they?
Pringles, but in fantasy.
Yeah.
There we
Okay.
have the answer. It's so nice to
So
have
it's not
something in
like-
chat who...
So it's not like fantasy flavored Pringles.
Yeah, that could be as well.
What flavor were the Pringles?
How do you come up with fantasy Pringles now that you are here, Zoran Royalty? How do you come up with fantasy Pringles? And what's the impact on the world?
Is there a Pringle factory where
Yeah.
prawn cocktail flavor?
Yeah, who knows, right?
Could be.
Yeah.
We don't know.
Yeah.
You know, but okay. So we have this mystery, right? Fantasy Pringles. Where are they made? How are they transported? Are they distributed around the world, or are they only a localized sort of local snack or delicacy? Then what flavor are the Pringles? Of course. But then we haven't even hit on the part where they used the fantasy Pringles to kill a giant slug.
There's one other part to it. Why is it called a fantasy Pringle, actually? Because
No, that's just
is
a
it because it's in a fantasy world? But do the people realize that they are in a
In a
fantasy
fantasy
world.
world.
So they're going to call the things Pringles. Fantasy Pringles. Zorn Royalty says, so it's kind of a running gag in the Adventure Zone, which was the inspiration. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I understand. I've read, I've listened to some of the Adventure Zone. Really funny. The earlier work, so, and I kind of got sidetracked after a while. Yeah.
Prawn cocktail flavored Pringles are a thing in the UK.
No,
well,
not so.
I mean,
An artificer using a spell to process raw potatoes en masse. Yeah,
yeah, could be.
And Zorn Royalty, who knows everything. So the rogue had a penchant for sour cream and onion. Also, the reason it worked was this. We're getting into it now.
I can imagine. So if before we read the answer, I mean, it might have something to do with the salt that's usually in chips, right? And slugs can't take the. So
Yeah.
I think they're putting one and one together. It's like, okay, we have these salty Pringles. There's a giant slug. Okay, this is how you end up.
I made the mistake of telling the party that the slug looked like it would keel over if someone threw a handful of salt at it. Yeah, the party had brought salty snacks before the combat.
That's
amazing.
so funny.
Yeah,
And
and
then
it really works, you know. A year's surprise for the spin.
A year's supply. And then Ashley says, this is how you end up spending 3 hours discussing the logistics of Pringle distribution. And exactly, that's what I'm talking about.
It's Pringles Utopia is the next big step, I
So
think.
there's this factory where there's a bunch of artificers just en masse creating Pringles.
Who
from
needs
raw
boots of
potato-
levitation? Let's do Pringles.
Pringles.
After that, all the party members made sure they had the type of salty snacks on them at all times.
I can imagine, yeah.
So I have to actually confess something now.
You never ate a Pringle.
Well, I did, but not fantasy Pringles though. Not even prawn tasting ones.
Oh, I already know what this is
Yeah,
doing.
yeah. So you know that people have phobias,
I know.
and my biggest phobia is snails.
Yeah, I know.
Snails and puppets. Those two things scare me the most. And in my nightmares, these snails can jump, and they're really scary. And when I encounter one in my garden or something, I go like this and have to call my wife, or I have to jump it with a really big jump over it.
That's a serious.
It's a serious thing, yeah. And so now it's on stream and everybody knows. So
Yeah, I
if
know.
one of you sends me snails, I will kick you, I think. But,
They don't know
no,
your
I won't do
address.
that.
They don't know your address.
Oh, they don't know my address. Well, no.
I can
We
tell
have
you.
to get a PO
I can
box.
tell you on Discord. Yeah, PO.
Yeah. So this I now will carry a
Yeah, a bag of chips, crisps.
crisps, to yeah.
Don't ever
protect
visit
me.
Jim Henson's memorial garden, says Ashley. Snails and puppets.
Don't have fist hands. Yeah, well, I can't stand the Muppets, but I can't stand what is it called?
Ventriloquist or the
No, those from Land of Confusion clip.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
can't come up with the name.
Ash will know this.
Yeah, probably. Shank says, I'm similarly afraid of character snails from the Dungeons and Dragons movie. Oh, but I'm afraid of the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I'm afraid of the dungeon. I don't think I've seen the Dungeons and Dragons movie.
I actually thought the second one was better, though it was worse.
I know better than to watch those movies.
I watched it in the when it came out.
The best D&D adventures happen here.
That's true. But there's a new movie coming, so
I know.
I'm going to watch it.
We'll see.
So and it's the same.
Spitting
The
image.
thing why spitting image, yes.
Yes,
the
I got it before Ash.
So the thing why I'm afraid of puppets is because of their unnatural movement. Which, well, now I'm throwing it all out there. Which is why I'm also afraid of belly dancers.
Am I freaking you out?
No, you're not freaking me out because I know exactly what you're doing.
All right.
But belly dancers do freak me out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't
So
know
now
that.
there you have it all. So if you ever want to do a Call of Cthulhu thing and you want to really scare me, include snails and belly dancers.
Yeah, I will. Gonna head out and try finish up some work. Bye, Fix. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Of my fragility. Just got back, but bye, Vix. Okay. Snails comes up at least once a day now. Yeah?
You did that to yourself.
Yeah, I think so as well. Harsh environment.
You know, I know.
This is on the internet forever.
Yeah, I know. I know that you're afraid of snails, but I always keep forgetting. Like even now, when you were talking about, well, I have a confession to make. I went for the joke and then thought, oh no, there was this thing.
yeah. So Zoran Royalty, did we answer or treat your answer with the right amount of respect? Do you want to add anything or ask us a question about how we handled it? For example, please tell us in chat because
it was a great answer.
It was a great answer. You see how much such a single sentence can make you think about what's happening.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about this game.
Yeah. So let's go to the next one.
Next slide.
My fiance was very happy hearing his shenanigans were appreciated. Cool.
Yes, very much.
Yeah. Let's go to the next slide. Jacqueline says, I sent my players up against a giant squirrel beast after a weird interplanar bar hop in which they bullied a water elemental made out of virgin's tears.
All right.
Again, a long sentence, which at the end you start thinking, what the hell?
Yep.
Right?
Interplanar bar hop, pretty crazy.
Giant squirrel.
Pretty crazy. Water elemental made out of tears. Pretty crazy.
Water elemental made out of virgin's tears.
Super crazy.
Super crazy. Yeah.
We can talk about the logistics of this like we did for the Pringles, but I don't think that would be appropriate. But
that's a wild ride. Yeah, it's there always has to be a certain context to these things, and that was what I was referring to because there was this answer which included all the ugly things that happened to people happening into a session, and then they never went to the dungeon master again because they were horrified about how he handled all those topics. And we've talked about bad DMs. And
the importance of a session 0.
Yeah, and really telling each other what your limitations are.
Yeah.
What you don't like to see happening to your character.
Or just in general, things that you don't want to have put in front of you during a game.
Yeah. Then we also got answers by people who were under the influence of specific drugs, so to say, which made for really strange answers, which I kind of liked actually, but thought,
to me,
this is the only thing that you're saying about yourself in a post, you know? Now I have this vision about you doing this, and that gives you kind of a strange context to how you do your Dungeons and Dragons sessions.
Well, I mean, I drank a bit of wine yesterday during the Call of Cthulhu game.
I might have drunk a bit of beer as well.
So,
Yeah.
It happens.
It happens, yeah. But I will not address that on stream, because that would be strange. Well, we can do it because we can talk about under which circumstances we might have been under a bit of influence, for example.
I think that I would agree with you if the taking of substances led to such a weird session because of the players doing weird stuff and starting to act weird and
that's what was
so
happening.
that I totally agree that no place here. That's not what we're talking about. I think the in character things are much better. I had a few pipes of whiskey, maybe.
I don't think this needs concept. What's not to love? Tears, tick, bar hop tick. Yeah.
Giant squirrel tick.
That's why you want to murder so bad.
Yeah, I think Ash made some
Oh, yeah.
made some decisions yesterday
Yeah.
under the influence, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then it starts to affect the character. That's different for me.
Yeah, that's different.
That
That's
really is different. It's just a
yeah.
thought that popped in my head because then, if that can be very funny,
It can
right?
be, yes. Very funny. Um,
But if people start to pass out at your table,
Yeah.
or whatever, then I can imagine that while you're playing, you're probably laughing about it, and then afterwards maybe like, ooh,
So one of my weirdest sessions, and I've in other contexts we have already talked about this on Talking Void, was when we were just role playing one evening, and two of these characters got into a fight, but that transcended to the players,
yeah,
which were brothers in real life, and they were shouting at each other, and then we stopped the session.
yeah,
Yeah, because we thought, whoa, what's happening here?
yeah. Then weird
this is
stuff happens.
transcending,
The players, to
yeah.
the players. It's not in the game anymore. It's that.
Which had nothing to do with any substance.
Oh.
It had to do with in-game aspects that dripped over into real life, and
Yeah,
and I don't even think that it was subject matter of those in-game aspects as well. It was
No,
just a
something
conflict
else.
between the two values of these characters that
transcended
kind of
into
came to life.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's interesting stuff.
It's interesting discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it only happened once in all my nearly 29 years now of playing Dungeons and Dragons, that it went so far that we thought, well, let's end it here. But yeah. Although I once had a character who joined us and joined the session, and beforehand I had said, think of a reason why you have to leave after a single session. And he came up with a terminal disease, so to say, which was pretty awkward as well at the table. And then we continued the session, and then the next session we said, well, that didn't happen. This is not canon. Yeah, sometimes you invite people to your table that are really weird. Yeah.
Retcon your own D&D games.
Yeah.
You literally had me pass out to shut me up. I actually rolled on the table for that, actually, and I should have done that from the start, and it should have been in a bit different context. It was a
So Chet is still talking about the Call of Cthulhu campaign. You really should watch it when it comes to YouTube. So it was really great.
Yet you guys keep inviting me Victorals, and
I think we're weird, right? No, we're not weird. Okay, we're normal.
You are weird.
I'm weird. Oh, okay, that's the actual thing. Then Irene says, well, my players just spent 2 sessions working at a mechanical pet shop so they could have their own pets and flirting with the locals rather than investigating what they came to town to investigate. I'd say that's the weirdest 2 sessions I've ever had to DM.
Wow. And what's that with players that need to do an investigation but just completely go off rails and do all these other random things like, I don't know, psychoanalyze each other and...
And what's this thing where you actually dive into a shop and can hold up a conversation for 2 sessions?
But that's what I said earlier with the human resource management. It's like you're talking for 3 hours straight. You're discussing the ins and outs of running a pet shop or toy factory, or it doesn't even matter what it is. And you like in the biggest detail, like, okay, we need this many people to do this. If we sell them for this amount of money, we make 3 gold pieces on every item that we sell, which would mean that, and at the end of it, you devise this entire...
But there are only 500 people in this slum, so we have to export our product. Right?
Yeah. So
Now
we get leftovers. And what do? Do we recycle the material if they break down? Do we recycle them? Do we do a landfill? Just throw them in there, cover it up. Somebody else's problem.
Yeah.
See you in 500 years.
Let's go nuclear. Anyway, Gamers Move TV said we had a girls' night out in Cyberpunk Red that was all improv and ended with a PC knocking out most of the bar with a person as a melee weapon. Yeah. We had one of those sessions as well where they got thrown out of a bar because the battle rager was mistaking everything to be a door, and he hated doors. So, yeah. Those are funny sessions, and they can be really relaxing.
Yeah. But that's what it's all about, right? You play these games because you want to have fun, right? Mostly, or because it is fun. And sometimes having fun means that you're really invested in a story and in your role playing and in emotional storytelling. And sometimes it just means that you want to do some ridiculous stuff and just see what happens. And there should be space for all of these.
Yeah. Well, that's why I can appreciate the Critical Role shopping episodes. Because they really like that. They're 4-hour-long episodes where they only do shopping. and you know, I kind of skip over them, but I can appreciate that they are there.
Yeah. There's a lot of funny stuff that happens as well.
That as well, yeah. But they are really into shopping. Yeah.
Some of them.
Some of them, yeah.
Some of them, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Ashley says about the callback for the Call of Cthulhu. There was a total needed side quest for information that I forgot to ask for information. Yeah, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, let's go on.
Yeah.
No, Ashley.
Next. No, but also you. I made a segue into the next slide.
Indeed.
Parallel
projections.
I did it.
Hey, hello.
I'm running the show now.
Devin says, I was playing a monster campaign. Oh, I love this one. I was playing a monster campaign. We were all given pre-gen characters. Mine was a baby red dragon. Second encounter was a ghost. I told the party to leave and let me deal with it. After a few rounds of combat and me aging 120 years, the DM called on to my ID as I was not attempting to hit the ghost. At this point, the ghost was no longer able to age me for some magical reason.
Yeah, it's always great when the DM is forced to change the rules at the moment because a player found a loophole.
Putting ghosts against it.
I would give it to you. As a DM, I would give it to you. You are now a ancient red dragon, and then probably something else happens. You win the encounter or whatever, but something else happens. You're an ancient red dragon. Adventurers come for you or whatever, right? There's like a group of 50 paladins, all with lances and horses, golden armor. Like, okay, fight your way out now.
Yeah,
something like that.
Possibly, especially when it's... was it for a longer running campaign?
It was a campaign.
So you can do all kinds of stuff with it.
Yeah.
But he leveled up.
Yeah.
He leveled up in 120 years.
I
think that in third edition, the dragon is a kind of a great worm at about 11 or 1200 years old.
Yeah, something
so
very old.
This one has gotten out of the juvenile state, I think. But that makes for a strong dragon.
Yeah, I mean, I know that even the wormlings and the young dragons can be, they have a lot of abilities and can be pretty powerful. Like they don't have the HP in third. Yeah,
second as well, by the way. I think second and third edition dragons are my favorite kind of dragons.
I would use the Thundercat defense, says Ashley. You are ancient, but with the mind of a 2-year-old. That's actually a really good one as well. It's like, you have all this power, but you have no idea how to use it.
Yeah. So I think that the 5th edition, it started with 4th edition, but the 5th edition as well. The dragons are really toned down.
I think everything seems toned down, but that's also because of how the system is built, I think, don't you?
Yeah, I agree. But when a dragon has become a thing that has a breath weapon and possibly 5 attacks that can fly, and they have intelligence, so they can do some kind of stuff, and they have legendary actions and stuff. But I think that, talking about Critical Role, there was one really interesting dragon. The rest wasn't that
The
interesting.
green one.
The green one, because
Yeah.
of the spell casting and stuff. And
But that's what I
that's
like
really
about...
taken about from second and third edition Dungeons and
Yeah.
Dragons. And I think there are optional rules for them. And there's this new dragon book coming. Did you see?
I know, but
Yeah.
so this is my opinion on the new D&D book. I'm excited for it, and I'm going to buy it and read it. But I have the third edition Draconomicon, and I
Yeah.
think just the artwork and the things that they wrote in that book are, to me, almost absolute perfection. And it translates really well to other games or other editions, because you
Yeah.
can just ignore the stat block, but then there's still like heaps of information. Like they drawn out the wingspan of the dragons and how they move their wings in flight and stuff. They treated that entire book as a medical encyclopedia.
Yeah.
Some doctors or people in the
Researchers
universe,
book for,
researchers have pulled apart dragons, drawn out like bone structures, skill structures,
Yeah.
how do the muscles move, and it's all drawn in that book. So I already know, and they're not going to reuse art. They almost never do that.
No.
Right? And there's every once in a while there might be. So it's never going to be that book.
No.
And that book is...
And I also, because they I think they kind of developed how dragons looked in the first monster manual of third edition, and they expanded on that in the Draconomicon. And when you see my favorite, I've got my favorite chromatic dragon is the black one, and my favorite metallic dragon is the silver one.
Yeah.
I like the one with the beard and the oh man, I just love those dragons.
Yeah, I love the black and the red one are the pages where they have the art with the whole build up of the dragon and stuff. The red and the black one are the most beautiful ones. I always really like the brass dragons as well. I like the wing structure that they chose for that specific dragon there. But yeah, I mean those aspects to their appearance are still carried over now. I think that in the models that you can buy, like there's some characteristics in how
That's
these
true.
dragons look. But yeah, for me, dragons were always these ancient, and in most fantasy books that I've read and in most campaigns that I've played, dragons are they are the masters of air, earth, and water. Like they can transform into humans or look like humans. They have magical abilities. They are thousands of years old. They know everything and they care about nothing, because I mean the mostly personal things, because they are so old and ancient and they've seen it all. And like I that's my fantasy of dragons.
So things are happening in chat. I would use a I would use a Thundercat defense. You are ancient, but with the mind of a 2-year-old. Then Valoring says, drop that dex mod for not having had the opportunity to get used to moving around.
That's
in
also
the
a
body.
great one.
That's
It's like you collapse to the floor. You can't support the weight because you
Yeah.
never learned how to move in it.
And what do you make of gem dragons? Asks Ashley. I kind of like them. They were kind of cool in between. Are they in the Draconomicon?
Well, there's a part in the Draconomicon near the end where they discuss a whole lot of different dragons. I remember there's one piece of art in there with a tattooed dragon. It's a specific dragon. I can't recall which one it is, but I really love that art as well. So they discuss some other dragons, and I think gem dragons might be in there, but I'm not sure.
I also like the epic dragons from third edition, like the radiant dragon and the prismatic dragon.
The radiant one was just also very. That one is definitely in the Draconomicon.
No, okay, yeah. So I love them, and I love the psionic thing that is their thing, right? The gem dragons. Although psionics have always been a bit complicated in balance with balance issues. I've made my own psionic classes in 5th edition, so I could actually transfer them to dragon aspects. But then the other dragons don't have spellcasting either, so that's complicated.
I knew that it was.
Have to take off, guys, but
you guys can't see it probably. But this was the piece of art that I was talking about. It's in the Draconomicon.
Yeah,
I really love that.
Gamers, Move TV, have to take off, guys, but good talks. Thank you so much.
A hide carved dragon.
Yeah, Jam stats are all in the UA at the moment on Beyond. We have a look. Okay, I will do that.
See you, Gamers Move TV.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, and hope to see you next time.
Let's go to the next
Yes,
one.
next slide.
And Matt says, Benadryl and red wine while DMing. Friends still talk about it 20 years later.
Yeah.
Something. I only really remember snippets. You're in the tavern room. You hear a light tapping on their door. We open the door. Make a deck save. Player was successful. You manage to roll out of the way and avoid the little old man tap dancing on your door. Roll initiative. Yeah.
Pretty funny. Yeah, I mean...
So here's where it affects the game.
yeah, here's where
then
it
it's
affects the
funny.
game. That can be
Yeah.
very funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, and I also understand that it will become a running gag if you miss
Yeah.
parts of it and people 20 years later are still like, do you remember that one game? You were so
Yeah.
drunk you didn't even remember what happened.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't did you ever experience such a such a session where you thought, well, I can't remember stuff that
No,
happened,
but I've
right?
never had that in my life.
No?
I've never had missing parts. I mean,
Do I?
would I even know?
Whoa! Next level bullshit. I don't think. I've had memories returned to me from a Dungeons and Dragons session, so I was kind of out of it, but then it returned to me at a later point when somebody triggered it.
No, never forgot anything about a D&D game.
No. Had a lot of fun moments.
Yeah.
With some drinks happening.
Yeah,
Sessions,
for sure.
Yeah. Ruby.
Maybe some. Yeah, that one sticks out.
Yeah.
But,
Ruby.
Whoa. Yeah.
Do you know what you do not know? Well,
No.
you're asking a philosopher and a psychologist. So the answer is
Maybe.
wow.
We can't actually touch.
Oh, damn. That's a pity. Wow, that was great.
I also was totally kidding. We're both super vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
Wow, we haven't done that in 2
I feel
years.
so dirty.
Yeah, me too. I have to wash my hands now.
No, I don't feel dirty at all. Nice clap. Yeah, a nice word. Yeah.
Next.
Yeah, so that's all about we have to say about this. But I really like the answer
Yeah, it's a
because
great answer.
I think that when you think about those sessions where weird stuff happened, and there was were those ones where you were under a bit of influence, and it just got off-railed, and you just had a lot of fun. Maybe the players had a bit more fun than the Dungeon Master in this case.
I'm pretty sure that the Dungeon Master had a lot of fun as well.
Yeah,
He just
yeah.
doesn't remember.
Yeah. Very good answer to the weird session, I think.
Yeah.
But this is also where I kind of drew the limit of what I would include in this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is a great example of
Yeah.
it influencing the game in a fun way.
Yeah. Yeah. There's probably one glass of red wine and just a bit of Benadryl. Fernando says, it was probably when my players were exploring a pocket dimension created by a botched attempt to open a gate to the 9 hells in Waterdeep. Level 2 was many different kinds of post-apocalyptic cities from dystopian books that existed in the universe. It allowed me to go crazy and do whatever I wanted without breaking the immersion, because nothing was actually real anyway. And that's how my players ended on a firefighter truck using sounds to attract and weaponize a purple worm that was chasing them and making it attack their enemies in Forgotten Realms game.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
I think it recently came up even on our Discord, or maybe I saw it in... I can't remember where I saw it recently. But people talking about having modern day references in their fantasy games.
Yeah.
And that can be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And make it super weird, like firefighter truck and a purple weaponized purple worm.
Yeah.
And for me, one of the go-to examples was always either Disney's Merlin. At the end, he teleports away, and then he comes back, and he's wearing like swim shorts, and he has no, I can photographer, a picture machine, camera. Thank you. I'm looking right at it. I didn't come up with the word, but yeah. And then in the Deathgate series by Weiss and Hickman, you have Zivnap, who has now become more prominent in the recent days because of the announced book, which is.
Very nice book.
Yeah. It's what's the character called there? It's not Zivnap, but
Yeah, it's kind of the same.
but they are the same character basically. And he's constantly referring James Bond and other things, and that's super funny.
Yeah.
So modern day references in it.
And there's stuff in the normal rules as well, especially in Planescape. I had. If you read up on Acheron, which is a plane that I really like, which has all these cubes floating in the void, and in one layer they're on top of the cubes, and the other they're inside of the cubes and everything. And it describes it as having collecting the garbage of all times in a way.
Yeah.
So when, but it's also the home of Grumsh, like the orc god, and so when when this evil guy that was living on Acheron was invading the prime material in one of my campaigns, those orcs came from that place, and they were covered in keyboards and stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
And having all these kinds of strange aperture on them. And I described it in such a way that it was just weird, because nothing worked anymore and stuff. But yeah, they actually got a keyboard hanging somewhere in their house.
That's really cool. And on a more serious note, you can also do it. I know that the Wheel of Time series sometimes make references to objects that we have in our current world, implying that it takes place like years and years and years, or millennia or whatever in the future.
Yeah, well, you have that with the what is it? They did the MTV series, Shannara.
Oh yeah, it's the Shannara Chronicles as well. It's a bit more on the nose there.
Yeah,
that's actually the setting in Wheel of Time.
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it really.
I never saw the second season, by the way.
Me neither.
I kind of liked the first season, not because that it was so good.
I know people hated it, but I enjoyed it because I thought it was just a fun...
Yeah, just something different.
Yeah.
Them really trying to do high fantasy in this strange setting, and sometimes was a bit crappy, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah. I liked the characters and the actors. I liked that they all did an amazing job, but I just liked the personality.
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
Like the guy that played Deathstroke in the Arrow series. He played the druid in Shannara. Like I thought there was that guy just looks awesome.
Yeah.
It's
true. Yeah.
So yeah.
And I thought it was really funny that John Rhys Davies was playing an elf in this one.
Yeah. That's
instead of a dwarf. So
Yeah, those are some of those things where I usually my difficulty with. I have a very clear image in my head of what elves look like and dwarves look like, based on the Lord of the Rings and other fantasy, like the Warhammer Fantasy franchise and stuff. That influenced my perception of what they look like. So one thing that I could never stand is that in D&D books, elves are always shorter than humans. Because in the Lord of the Rings universe, they are slender and taller than humans.
Yeah.
And so for me, that always was a mismatch. And then in movies, when dwarves are just smaller people or children with beards, sort of idea, I immediately lose that connection, because a dwarf is not just a tiny human or a smaller human. Like they have a completely different bone structure, which is something they did really well in the Lord of the Rings movies.
Yeah.
And didn't do well in the Hobbit movies.
No, true. And I always feel that the dwarves that they do in World of Warcraft are great.
Yeah.
Because you really get to think this is a real person was much broader. But
that's
it's all because of muscle structure and how
yeah,
it's
the
positioned.
density and bone structure and
really cool.
really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's really noticeable, and it irks me to no end that they did it so well in Lord of the Rings. Just like,
Shall we not talk about Aragon then?
you mean no? Let's not talk about that.
Yeah, because man, you can do it. Yeah, but I understand
Okay,
what you're saying.
let's
like
talk
the Hobbit
about that for 1 second, because a dragon with feathered wings. Seriously, like whoever thought that was a great idea in that movie should be, I don't know, something. Should be reading more fantasy books.
Yeah.
I don't mind a dragon with feathered wings. I think they can exist. Yes. But in this movie, which is about the dragon, where like one of the first pages, if you've read the actual book I have, is like described with leathery bat-like wings.
Yeah.
And it's like, what's even happening here? That's the
Yeah.
moment I saw that trailer. I was like, this is not going to be great.
So we came from Fernando's answer towards this kind of thing. So we kind of talked about the theme of this answer, not really about the answer itself anymore, but I think that's enough for this topic, because we recognize it in our own games and the things around us, and it leads to more discussion or dialogue, so to say. Yeah. So, do you know what this red tab means?
No, I have no idea.
It means that we're going to a big answer screen stuff thingy. And now, ooh, there we go. The big answer screen, people. Yeah, there it is again.
We are tiny. The answers are big, but we are tiny.
Yeah. Kefia says, yesterday my husband tamed a T-Rex for 24 hours by charming him. He's a level 2 bard. The encounter was meant to go like this. Formback raptor attacks them, they stand to no chance. Before they go down, they hear a terrible roar and the T-Rex comes in to take the raptor as his prey. As he feeds on the raptor, my party sneaks and runs away. My husband decided to kick the Formback raptor's arse first. Then I brought the T-Rex in, smelling blood and stuff, and as he was first in the initiative, my husband directly tamed the T-Rex and took him to ride through the jungle of Kult, making it an easy terrain to pass for the rest of the group. This did not turn out the way I had planned, lol. And then she put a post below it as well, where she said, and the XP they gained from this encounter made them go up 2 levels immediately. I like this answer in a whole different manner, you know.
They are great answers. It's a great answer because this is actually surprising the DM in some way, right?
Well, it's what we talked about Call of Cthulhu yesterday, that you prepare all these things and you think of this is what they're going to do, and then instead they go to the apartment, and then you get derailed, but at the same time you want to cope with it and progress your adventure.
But I think like one of the I was going to write about this on our Discord, but I think the most important thing to learn is that you can prepare whatever you want. If you want to write 6 pages or 12 pages or only 1 note or whatever to prepare for your adventure, that's all great. But you need to be able to let it all go as soon as it is not relevant or is relevant, to let it go. Yeah. And this is great. Yeah, just accept it. If they want to charm that T-Rex and they succeed on their rolls and they succeeded, right? Yeah. And it's also a callback to the dragon aging. It's like it's not really a loophole. They are using the rules and they thought of something very, very clever. Yeah. And then you make some die rolls, and if those die come up in your favor, then you did it.
And the other thing is, and that's what I like about this answer as well, I think Kefia is certainly proud of her players.
You can read it in the answer. Yeah.
Or I'm reading that, but I think I'm right.
And when you're right, you're right.
Yeah. So, great answer.
Great answer.
Yeah. Again. I think that it's this kind of a conclusion about a couple of other answers we've already had that builds up to this kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I have another one. I really didn't like this one that much, but I thought I should include it just because of the person who wrote it. It's from a guy named Ashley.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Should I even do it or just skip it?
Shall I read it? Then you can
Yeah,
still say
do-
that you didn't read it.
Do it. I'll keep my ears closed.
I once DM'd a session that started off serious and just devolved into chaos. The players were a wandering troop of players. Bard, compare, wizard, magician, rogue, actor, tumbler, and a paladin, acrobat, storyteller that would perform in taverns and at festivals and also adventure.
They're actually players.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They went to kill some marauders, and the rogue kobold used his dancer sword attack. He failed to catch it, and it got stuck in a tree. They won the fight. Then he spent 2 in-game days trying to retrieve the sword while the others heckled, practiced, and leveled up. And then finally suggested using the trigger word so the sword flew out of the tree. They then spent the rest of the campaign with the tale of the kobold and the tree as the center of the act for the taverns. There was a whole routine worked out while the rogue tried to free the sword, and they performed it every chance they got for locals all over Faerun.
Yeah. So actually, it's actually kind of a nice answer.
It's a really nice.
Yeah, it's a really nice answer. But I had to make fun. I had to make fun of you just a bit, you know.
It's because of the high five, man.
Anyway.
So, yeah, no, it's...
Yeah, so this is where a gimmick gets to be a thing.
Yeah.
And I really like that as well, because, again, it's an in-game gimmick, which becomes part of kind of the lore, evolves into a thing that gets carried across. It's not that session that you remember, but the thing itself becomes a thing.
Yeah.
And that's what I really like about the answer. So... you got included into the show again, Ashley, and it's a good answer. And I also like the fact that there are a lot of people in this troop that you would not normally expect to be.
It sounds like fun play group.
Yeah. So
A group of character.
Yeah. So the group is already defying the kind of standard trope, and then this gets added on and. Apparently you're having a lot of fun with them.
Yeah.
As a good group. Yeah.
So I just had to mention it since Ashley has come up. One of the weirdest sessions that I played, not naming the Call of Cthulhu one, was this session, and we never talked about this on the show, but there was this session that I played with Ashley as a DM, and we were supposed to do all these epic great things in the Theros campaign. And then we discovered that people were using goblins as slaves, and the entire...
I've never talked about this. Wow.
So the entire episode became, or the entire session became about freeing the slave goblins.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is kind of new to me, man.
Yeah, I know.
In which previous episodes could there be a reference to this?
I think at least 5 or 6 other ones.
Yeah. Well, we'll let Ashley shine with... are you
Yeah, we're gonna
Ashley shine with this one for a while.
we need to go to bed.
Yeah, that's true. Well, we're nearing the end, actually. So I think you will like the last one, by the way, again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it the goblins?
No, it's not the goblins.
Okay. Well,
but it's a very short one again.
Okay.
I like to answer.
Yes.
Yeah, well. Dyson Logo says background. According to the Engsvanjari, which has later been passed down to the Cholriani and most of the 5 empires, the soul is made out of 5 parts: body, shadow self, conscious mind, the enemy, and the spirit soul. So in our campaign, one of our kin was killed in an unfortunate adventuring related accident. Then we got him resurrected by one of the local Noxai. It seems one of the local gods hitched a ride and manifested in his body, which caused no end of weirdness and problems. At one point I got the clever idea that we should all get messed up on the local drug supply and launch an exposition to explore his mind and meet his souls and see if we could isolate the god Ayunal from Aidfo. And the DM agreed. Joy is to be had. So we played a weird version of Flatliners, where we went to a temple, got comfortable, took a lot of drugs while having ESP and similar magic cast on us, and did this deep dive into Eidfo's man.
We are butchering the names, but
his shadow self, subconscious, hunting for Ayuno and how to detach them. It was a wild exploration of strange spaces and encounters with his perceptions of our friends, allies, and enemies. It led exactly nowhere, but it was wonderfully weird session.
let us the butchering the names not imply that they aren't awesome names, because they are awesome names. We just can't pronounce them.
That's actually the thing here. I like those names. Yeah.
But yeah, so there's a lot to go into there. But I think I mean, I just had to say that I love Flatliners.
I think I saw Flatliners a bit too early in my life.
I think I was about 12 or so.
You have that movie and Jacob's Ladder. Did you see that one?
No.
Those are ones that really stuck to me because I thought they were really scary.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But I love them.
Yeah.
Kevin
Bacon.
Yeah. And I do not dare to see the remake of that one.
No, I haven't seen it. No, because for me, that movie was perfect.
Yeah, it was perfect. I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch the new one. It's the same thing with the RoboCop one. There's like these movies that they're rebuilding.
I actually saw that one.
Yeah. Total Recall, another one. That's like one of my favorite movies ever made. I love Total Recall with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I also like the other film, but they should just not have named it Total Recall.
Yeah, that's my problem.
You have like the new Total Recall. If they actually gave it another title,
would be a good movie.
Totally different from the original. Some of the same mechanics, of course, but I really loved it. But there are these movies that really redo the same story, in a sense, and that's where it gets awkward.
Yeah. Anyway, the answer. Yeah. Sorry.
Like RoboCop. That's a really strange one because I kind of liked what I saw, and at the same time, I thought you have skipped over everything that Paul Verhoeven meant to do with this movie.
There's so much that he put in there, like commenting on politics and police brutality and things, and like all these topics.
The earth heating up and everything.
Carl Urban's RoboCop. It was not Carl Urban. Carl Urban was Dread, which was a very good movie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Carl Urban didn't play RoboCop.
I don't think either.
It's Carl Urban did Dread, and he did
which was
amazingly. It was
a strange movie as well. The whole of the movie inside that
one building. It was
one
great.
building.
Dread was awesome. Yeah. So it was inspired by the Raid, which is I want to say Korean, but I'm not sure if it's actually Korean. So, but anyway, it's Dread is awesome.
Yeah. So we got from
Filipino,
what is Filipino?
The Raid, the movie.
Okay.
Philippines.
Yeah. We got from Flatliners to movie exposition.
Yeah, but I mean, there's a lot of lore. There's a lot of it's almost too much to wrap my head around it. Yeah. So I'm focusing on that aspect. And I love that movie, and that can get so weird, and I can totally imagine taking this journey into somebody else's mind.
If you have a good dungeon master and good players,
and
you can really pull this off.
Seeing just based on the lore that he describes and the names that he's mentioning, I'm pretty sure that the dungeon master knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
it sounds super interesting. So I would love to know more about this world.
Yeah. Well, Dyson actually has had 3 answers.
Oh, is it Dyson? It's Dyson Logos.
Yeah, but he's never been on. So,
no, but I like he's app drawer.
He is?
Yeah, and he's actually been published as well. He's one of the
so cool.
He's you can follow him. I follow him on Instagram. His maps are amazing. And
I actually tried to contact him 3 times.
yeah, but he's super
Because-
busy. I think people
apparently,
try to
yeah.
contact him all the time.
Yeah. So I hope he sees this one day, because I think he did all right in three of our answers.
Yeah.
I think one was on the previous episode actually, and the other one was a while back. Yeah.
Yeah. But now, so confirmed. I think he also wrote some tiny adventures or whatever for DM's
to
Guild,
look
but
that
I'm
up.
not sure
Yeah.
about it. I know that he's know him from his maps mostly.
Yeah. Yeah. So great answer, and then we get to the last one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You were going. You were saying that we have to make haste.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. So it will not be a 2 hours and 45 minutes. one
That's
this
great
time,
to
which is
compensate
okay.
for the
Yeah.
yesterday's 5 hour
Indeed.
insanity.
So prepare for the last one,
Okay,
because
I will.
it's wait. I'm going to first go to the to
The
read
regular
this.
screen.
Yeah, because
Hey, we're big again.
we're big again.
We're people trapped in a box.
Here we go.
Yeah.
David says, the saga of not Steve. He died spectacularly and will always be remembered. Steve is just another non-playing character, guard.
Yeah.
We call Steve Susan.
Yeah, Susan.
We love Susan. We love Steve as well.
Yeah.
Because there should always be a Steve in
And
any
it-
campaign.
Yeah.
And it will be a running gag, but also there will be tears.
There will be tears. And when you least expect it, when you're playing this campaign or whatever, it might take 5 years, or a year, it might take 5, might take 10 years. At one point, that running gag will come around and we'll have people crying on the floor, not with laughter, but with actual emotion, because it's so built up. Yeah, Susan.
Susan, yeah, I think so too. We once got an answer to most perfect session ever or something. I don't know what the question was. Where there was this great siege of a city, and they took some of the guards with them on the adventure because they saved the city and they saved these guards. Then and one of the characters even got married to this guard, and then in a far later episode they came to realize that he was actually working for the bad guy, and he had changed his ways, but initially, and that was all kinds of drama. So sometimes these, but they thought, I don't know what I'm trying to say, but this was a non-playing character that they thought was a Steve.
Yeah.
And actually was
the big bad guy.
Well, not big, but an agent of the big bad guy.
But that's what I meant. Like it will come around at one point.
It will come around. I really
point.
want to meet Susan at a certain point in the Precipice of Dreams.
It's going to be really fun because so
we
in
all
our
drop
case,
silent, even though we don't know her.
In our case, that's super interesting because that's exactly what I was going to say. So we met our Susan in a one shot that we did that was isolated.
Gary
Yeah, for GaryCon, and it was isolated in time. And it could have happened to us, but we were level 5 in the one shot while we were actually still level 3 or 4. So it might have happened. It might happen somewhere in the future, but now we know that it can't happen in the future because Thomas has died.
Dead.
So it
He
is
was
actually so. But now, if we ever get to that point in time and we are in that place and we see Susan, then our characters don't know Susan, but we as the players are going to feel all sorts of stuff seeing Susan. And even some of our viewers will be super excited to see Susan.
Yeah.
But it's not an NPC, but I'm always reminded of that comic where it's like a 4-panel comic where in the first one people are sitting down for a game of D&D and one guy presents his character and it's like the weirdest character ever with a very stupid name.
Yeah,
and then
barbarian.
And then the final picture is this epic scene of him sacrificing his own life.
Yeah, and the tears.
Like he called his character ass grabber or something, and then in the final, it's super funny.
Yeah, that's a funny one, and so relatable.
Yeah.
So that was my final answer for this show, and so thank you so much to David. See you.
No, just,
Oh, you're back.
I'm back.
Dang it.
Thanks everyone for sending
no.
in their answer.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you can. I thought that you were
Thank
going
you,
to
no,
close the show. For
wow.
me. No, thanks everyone for. Yeah, okay. You can say it.
I already did. You interrupted me.
Yeah, so say it out loud again.
Thank you all so much for your answers. We really appreciate it. Keep them coming for the next questions as well. We love talking about our own games and other people's games and referring it back to our own games and other people's games and things that have happened or may happen or do not happen or happen somewhere in the future. It's all weird. People, please stay weird. And yeah.
Wow, nice one. I almost believed you. No, I believed you. Okay, let's go to the last slide after that because he did so well. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Anyway.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I say no more, say no more.
Oh, I watched it later.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Love that show.
Biggest Diggers.
That's Live with Brian.
Live with Brian, yeah. Hey. Oh, it's because... Okay. There we go. So, last screen. What is the most epic location one of your characters has ever visited? Because we have all these epic sessions and stuff and everything, but it's not always about the most epic location. And I thought, when I consider Fortas, he has been on top of the city of gold. He's been in
floating.
Avon. He's been in Rorintamore. He's been in outer space. He's been, there's all these locations that really had an impact on his sense of the world.
Yeah. We've been to a city of time or land. I'm really sorry. It's like an itch in my nose that just won't go away.
No, I'm not scared at all.
No, I know, but just clarifying it for.
Yeah.
It feels like something is just like a hair or whatever. It's
that's not how.
And I'm not going to stick my finger in my nose on stream, because that will stay on the internet forever.
Yeah, I'm so afraid that I already did that.
Me too. Like
I probably have.
Yeah, scratch your ass or whatever.
Yeah, but they can't see that. They can just see me lifting up my ass.
Well, but they know.
Yeah,
they know.
They know. What a show. Love to reward. Thanks, Detlef.
Yeah. How not to be seen. Love to reward. Yeah.
On stream.
On stream.
I'm missing something here. I would clip that. Oh yeah, no, please don't. Me grabbing my ass? Is that what you want to clip? Is that what he wants to clip? Or is it something else? Probably. I'm getting confused now.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And I think that's exactly what they were trying to do, and they succeeded.
Yeah.
So chat won this round.
1 point for chat.
Next time, gadget.
I always like the first one best.
What?
In the later Gadget series, he's not scary at all.
No, the first one was the best.
Yeah.
You never saw him. That made him scary. It's
Yeah.
Call back to the thing I said at the beginning of the episode. It's that some things you are not meant to know.
Yeah.
And that character should remain a hand stroking a cat with a very, very awesome deep voice.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway,
what else?
We're getting to the end of the show. We probably should have ended it by now, but we are continuing because we like to continue stuff.
Yeah.
Coming soon, Bowen does Inspector Gadget. Well, you're saying something really funny there, Ashley, but then we have to return to Dark Heart in the future. So, spoilers, but so much fun.
Talking about spoilers, I need to raiding with a party of 3. Woo! Cast the DM, thanks for the raid. We're finishing up our stream.
Thanks for the last 3 minutes, but always welcome, Cast the DM.
Do you know, can we start a raid from here to somewhere else?
Let's
do you know
see.
how to do that from
Yes,
OBS?
I think I do. But who's online? Not something in my markers. And they are certainly not doing anything, because otherwise, they would not be here. So I can't see a stream that's in need of being
Twitch
rated.
dashboard. Yeah. So we're in OBS, right? We're not even in the Voidcast.
But I think
Twitch
you can do /rate and then type in the.
Okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
Next time, maybe. Let's figure it out.
Let's figure it out. And we did a raid. We have done raids.
Yeah, we should do that every episode.
Yeah.
At the end of every episode.
Yeah,
just,
but I have to collect a couple of more channels for that, and then we can actually.
But you can just go you can do random channels, right?
So
You can just go to a Dungeons and Dragons channel, see like, okay, who's streaming right now, and then you don't pick the one with 500 views. You pick the one with 3 views.
Yeah,
and you
that's
rate
true.
them.
Or about 20. Anyway, thanks
Stuff
for the
to
raid.
think about.
Yeah, stuff to think about. We are really saying goodbye by now, and I hope you had a lot of fun. Hope we made sense. Well, we'll see for the next one.
It's Tuesday, so if you're up very late in Europe, or if you live in the Americas or Canadas, then go check out our friends from Top Down Tabletop and Careful Cantrip, who will be streaming later today, I think, on a Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
That's
true.
their regular streaming day.
Yeah.
So go do that. Go check out all the awesome stuff. Cast the DM, you also stream, right? What day do you stream? So we can
I guess
promote it
right
here.
now, right?
I don't know. If he answers the question.
Sometimes I get confused by everything and all. Oh, and CC, yeah, CC, but CC is not live yet. So, yeah, I was
Actually,
doing
Top Down
art.
Tabletop
I tried
is also
to
in the
stream
weekends.
during the weekdays. Yeah. Okay. If I see you online next time and we finish earlier than you, then you certainly have a couple of viewers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah. Anyway, here we go again.
Yeah,
Next
this
Monday.
is what I was waiting for. So every 2 Sundays, and
Yeah.
getting a 24-hour coming up on the 5th of August. Awesome.
Oh, cool.
So go check it out on Cast DM Twitch.
Yeah. Do so. Next Monday will be the next episode of the Precipice of Dreams. New
Yep.
kind of story arc. So if you want to join us kind of fresh, you can do it at that point, and maybe later start going into the history of our actual play. Tuesday after that, at 9 p.m. CET, it's 8:30 for the Precipice on Monday. But at 9 p.m. CET on Tuesday, it's Jasper's Laboratory, where I be continuing how I do my Dramour campaign, which I really love to talk about. I think I made a good start, but I now have to expand on why I do certain stuff, and I think it's going to be a long-running thing.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And then the Monday afterwards, there is
No, I don't
there's
think
no
so.
parallel projection. There's no talking void because that will be on a break.
Yeah.
Because of holidays and stuff. Yeah, join us on our socials, and thanks.
Thank you all so much. See you soon.
Goodbye. Oh man, I have to do the outro. Goodbye.
Caca.